This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Don't shake this body.
Wake your fuck ass up.
That's right. We got the 2014 Sprint Cup Champion with us this morning.
Yeah.
Fellow West Coaster himself,
West
the one and
Side?
only Kevin Harvick is here.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Glad to be here.
Kev, welcome to the show, man.
Well, it's been a little bit of an early morning, so if I say anything wrong, it's okay, right?
You could say, listen, this is Sirius XM satellite radio. There is no such thing as a wrong thing to say.
Okay, good.
Anything. You can say
good.
things politically incorrect if you wish to.
Well, I don't have to do that. All I have to do to see that is watch the news.
Just watch the news, right?
You just watch the news, and every show that we've been to, I'm like, well, I've been to Fox News, I've been to the NBC News, and I see the same presidential candidates on the news talking about the same thing over and over.
Same
So,
thing, right?
It's political bullshit.
I agree. It's political bullshit. I agree.
All the time. But isn't it fascinating though? Like how many people, formerly empathetic people, are now involved with politics because of Donald Trump and Carly Fiorina and Ben Carson, all these guys, and some of the things. Isn't it? You don't find this more interesting now?
It is. I do find it more interesting just because there's not as many pure politicians involved in it. I'm not involved in it from a political standpoint, but I do like listening to hear them talk. But it just seems like it's over and over and over. I mean, my wife and I were talking about it the other day. It's like, how do they keep up with that pace? They're at this fundraiser and they're at that appearance and they're talking on this show. And I know how it is when we have to do interviews and you have to go do things like we do today. You're like, damn, I gotta go do 5 interviews. Those guys do 5 interviews in 1 hour.
Yeah. 1 hour, man.
Yeah.
Did you, when they said you're gonna do Sway in the morning after you said who? Did you say, damn, I got to do another interview, or were you kind of excited about
I was kind of excited because I don't think I've ever been in this studio. So
this is Eminem station.
Yeah.
Eminem, you a fan of Eminem?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely,
cool.
100%.
You will be able to talk about things on this show you never talked about ever.
Good.
I guarantee you on any interview. For example, if you had to pick your top 3 rappers of all time, who would they be?
Oh man! So my wife and I went and saw the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Ooh, good pick.
And so we were the only 2 people in the theater. We went and saw it last week or the week before in the theater. So I'll be 40 this year.
Okay.
So when you look at that movie, it's like, man, that's everything I grew up around.
Right.
So when you just, I know it's obviously probably a little bit different than what they had in the movie, but when you see Ice Cube and everything that NWA represented and all the songs that you go back and hear and you see Eazy E, my best friend and I, we used to drive to school every day and we'd have Eazy E blaring in the truck. So it was something that it was a lot of fun because Delana is a huge hip hop fan, but for me, coming from California and you come to the East Coast and it's just different than it is now. A lot of people back then probably wouldn't have known who Eazy E was.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick, man, he's giving you some hip hop history. See, you've probably never been asked that, have you?
No,
okay,
never.
There it is. Okay, we got that down.
But it was for me that's one of the better time that I have spent in a theater lately because it just brought a lot of memories back.
It brought back a lot of memories. I share that same memory. He's from Bakersfield. Heather, so growing up on the West Coast, you grew up on the East Coast. The NWA impact meant something more.
But wait, so how far away is Bakersfield from Oakland?
So Bakersfield is in between Los Angeles and San Francisco, basically.
Oh.
So, depending upon where you are in LA or, that Oakland, San Francisco area, you're probably an hour and a half south to LA, and you're probably, 3.5, 4 hours north to San Francisco.
So you from the Bay or LA?
I'm from Bakersfield, right in the middle.
So it's the
I'm from the
middle.
Central Valley.
That's
So
a whole nother thing.
that's a whole nother set.
Yeah. A lot of farmers.
That's right.
A lot of farmers.
Yeah. Oil rigs and
A lot
desert.
of oil. I actually grew up in Oildale, California.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it might take me 3.5 hours to drive. It might take Kevin maybe 10, 15 minutes to get to the base. I want to talk about the big show this Sunday, 2:30 p.m., NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Now, it's at Dover International Speedway. It's on NBCSN?
NBC Sports Network.
Sports Network, okay. Now, we're going to get a training course on your field and what you do coming up
need it.
next, man. Kev, I need you to break this down for me, okay?
I'm in.
All right, let's play something that Kev would like. Sway in the morning. 888-742-3345. Boys in the hood are always hard. Come talking that trash, we'll pull your car. Know nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy. I ain't said shit. Classic. Shakespeare couldn't have written it better.
You know what makes me laugh about that song is, you have the car speakers, and then my buddy's parents would always go away, so we'd take the speakers out of the house and put them in the back of the truck and try to figure all that out. So
you Kev, I like Kev, man.
Yeah, man.
Kevin
Kev was
Harvick is
chilling.
here.
Yeah.
He's going to be racing this week in the Sprint Cup Series in Dover International, right?
that's right.
And this is a tournament of 16 drivers, correct?
Yeah, so we have, you had the first 26 weeks are basically your regular season. You have 16 guys that qualify, for the last 10 weeks of the postseason. And then the way it goes is you have 16, you run 3 weeks, and the bottom 4 and the points are eliminated. Then you run 3 more, everything resets back to 0. You run 3 more weeks, the bottom 4 are eliminated, same thing next week, and then you have the last race of the year. There's 4 guys that are qualified. Everybody still races, but there's only 4 guys eligible for the championship, and winner takes all.
What is all when you say winner takes all?
Well, you get the trophy and probably $5 or $6 million.
Wow, million
Yeah.
for one
What the
person.
hell?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Well,
then.
it's different in our sport because the prize money that you see posted in the newspaper or online. That money is split up between the driver and the team. So,
okay.
So it's still a lot of money. But
So how many people would be on the team? Approximately?
so I race for Stewart Haas Racing. So it's 4 cars. It's myself, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, and Danica Patrick all on the same team. So we probably have 350 people, and we don't build our engines and we don't build our chassis. We outsource those from an outside team. So that anywhere from the top teams probably have 600 to 650 people apiece.
Oh.
Shit.
Money's starting to look funny
Man,
now.
$5 million don't look like so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Wowzers.
Kev, you going broke, man? You all right?
I just drive the car. I don't own the team.
You don't own the team.
That's right.
Tony Stewart is one of the owners, right?
Yes.
And he's retiring?
Yeah. Tony
Okay.
announced yesterday that he's going to retire from driving. He's the team. He and Gene Haas own our 4 cars. So next year will be his last year. So Tony's been one of my best buddies throughout my whole racing career. And obviously, he's my boss now, but he's obviously somebody who's been a great friend and meant a lot to our sport. So it's going to be weird. Jeff Gordon's done at the end of this year. Tony Stewart's done at the end of next year. So it's definitely strange to see everything that's changing on the track.
I got a chance. Jeff Gordon kind of piqued my interest in NASCAR a while back. I don't know what it was about Jeff Gordon. I ended up getting a jersey with his number on it, all kinds of stuff. And and so much so that with his car number rather. So much so that I went to the Talladega 500 a couple years back, and it was the most culture shocking experience I had up until that point, because it's a whole sector of our country that I've never been exposed to. I've only read about,
Right.
and seen in movies. I thought it was a myth, but it was like 75,000 or no more than that, right?
Yeah, there's probably around 100,000.
100,000 people in the stands.
Wow.
In the stands, not watching on TV. Those are like
Right.
MTV2 numbers right there.
Right.
And a lot of Confederate flags. I had to get used to that. Kev, did you have to get used to that? You were born and raised in Cali.
Look, I was born and raised in California, so I'm like you. When I came to the Southeast, things were different than what they were in California. So when I was growing up, it was there wasn't a lot of racing in California either. I grew up in a town, Bakersfield, California, that I was fortunate to have asphalt track, a dirt track, a go-kart track, a drag strip. But NASCAR racing was really where it was at as far as the racing world went, and it was primarily in the Southeast at that particular time. But when Jeff Gordon came in, he kind of broke down all those barriers and helped change the sport into what it is today. And there's more drivers from California now than there are from any other state.
Yeah. So that Confederate flag, though, how did you get to
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the most interesting thing, because what you don't know, I was ignorant to a whole lot of things. Okay, only what I knew from history. So I would walk in the stands, and a big, brolic guy, 6'2", looked like he just killed a hog with his hands and ate it for breakfast, would come up to me with a Confederate flag on his shirt with cut off sleeves and fucking hug me.
Yeah.
Like, Sway, I was watching you on MTV and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, is this dude about to kidnap me? But it was nothing but love. No. The environment is interesting. Like, you wouldn't know until you go experience it, right?
Right. Yeah, and I think when you look at the Confederate flag and everything that's happened with it, and being from California, you're like, I didn't know anything existed but an American flag.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you look at society in general today, and whether it's a black, white, gay, and I look at it from myself, and I'm like, how have we not just moved completely away from this? Because I didn't even realize that the world was even still in this, in this thought process of where we are today. So, I think when you go to the races, I don't know that, half of them are just wearing the T-shirts because it was across the street, and that's what they bought. But that's really the environment. It's a culture for everybody, and I think that there's a lot of myths of how it works and how things are, but it's really not like that when you're involved in it. You can't experience a NASCAR race on TV and experience what it's like until you actually go and see and feel the environment and experience those things for yourself. So it's definitely a lot different than what most people see from the outside looking in.
It's exciting because I've worked in music for years, and it takes you got to build up your credibility before you could just walk up to Katy. I'm just using her as an example. She's actually very sweet, but a Katy Perry or a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce or a Nicki Minaj or whoever the top tier artists are, you just don't walk up to them. Mm-hmm. But differently in NASCAR, man, I walked up to Jeff Gordon.
Yeah. So our sport is
Jimmy
very
Johnson.
sponsor driven.
Yeah.
And it's all about race fans. If our race fans have to interact and want to support that sponsor on the car. So if you're not, 5 minutes before you're getting in the car, you don't go to an NFL game or a baseball game or a hockey game, and 5 minutes before they're getting ready to play, say, hey, man, how you doing today? Mm-hmm. Have a good race. And we're standing at our car because we have sponsors and people around our race car that you're there to entertain and have fun. And the time that you get into race mode is when you get in the car, and that's really 5 minutes before the race. So it's a very open environment.
All right, so Kevin, so how do y'all turn up? Like, what's the turn up for a driver? Because I watch ESPN and I watch hip hop videos and cooking shows. I go back and forth. So you flicking, and like any given day, you watching and you look at a hip hop video and they like popping bottles, they chilling in the club, and you flick on the driving and they like drinking milk after they win. It's like
we drink beer. We're sponsored by Budweiser.
Oh, okay,
so.
you drink.
Yeah. So
so go to your side.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. So if you want to have fun and we win the race, you're going to get a beer bath afterwards.
Oh,
and
okay.
you're going to get a 25-ounce Budweiser to go and celebrate with us. So we will not run out of beer.
Okay.
After we won the championship last year, we had 80 cases of beer.
Woo.
That's okay. So that's how you party. All right, because I didn't understand the milk thing. I got you.
There's some of us that follow a more politically, or some of them follow a more politically correct line. For us, we like to have fun while we're enjoying ourselves.
I'm on your team.
Okay.
All right, I got you.
But you don't drink and drive, right? You're not
Absolutely not.
Okay, great.
Absolutely not.
Now,
We drink responsibly.
Do you guys have a lot of groupies that flock towards you then? What? What's
Yeah,
that scene?
so here's the deal. So we have a bus that goes from race to race to race, and for me, I bring my son, and I have a 3-year-old, and my wife with me pretty much on a weekly basis. And there are several of them that are single, and they come with those groupies come with different names.
They change them per city, so it seemed like you're getting a fresh hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it.
Some of them are
game.
referred to as helmet lickers, but whatever.
Helmet lickers. lickers.
Yo, that's a hot MC name.
So
Helmet
usually,
Yeah, the new
for us
rapper.
married guys, it's more fun to to hear the stories from the single
vicariously.
guys, but it's also fun to see how hard some of these groupies, as you guys would call them, actually try to make themselves visible. So
Helmet
people
lickers.
watching.
Listen, I'm gonna open up the phone lines to any helmet licker that's out there, and if you had an experience with a NASCAR driver, 888-742-3345. Kevin Harvick is with us. Good morning. NASCAR great Kevin Harvick is here with us. He's racing this Sunday, 2:30 p.m. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series AAA 400 at Dover International Speedway. It's going to be on NBC Sports Network. Make sure you check it out. You know, I just put together a list of names, man, and just wanted to see if I could get your comments on these people, and you could tell me what are they like individually.
All right.
Okay, let's
I won't
start.
even look at your list first, and I won't cheat.
Okay.
I'll let you surprise me.
This guy's a rock star in NASCAR. I swear this guy, I've been following. He's like hard to beat. Jimmy Johnson. What is he like?
Jimmy Johnson's he's a champion of our sport. He's just a straight up good racer.
Straight up good racer. Okay. What about his conversation? Is he nice?
Personality.
Is he a personality? Is he?
He's an ass. I can tell.
Jimmy's an ass?
He's not. He's not an ass.
Jimmy's cool?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
All right.
Joey Logano.
Joey Logano. He represents a different age group of NASCAR drivers, and you know we have a generation gap there, so we've definitely had our run-ins, but he's a good racer.
Speak about that run-in, Kev, if you don't mind.
We've had a couple of them, but you know I think we're all pretty competitive, so we all care about what we do. So sometimes you have a run-in with one or two of the guys.
Kev's outspoken. You know, he doesn't hold his tongue if he believes in something, which I like. That's a West Coast spirit.
That's
right.
So you gotta have spirit.
You gotta have spirit. Carl Edwards.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's probably the most fit guy.
Okay. Muscular.
Yeah.
Okay. You find him attractive?
No.
Okay. All right. Denny Hamlin.
Denny's always hurt.
Uh-huh.
He's soft. He's soft. He a bitch.
Yeah. So he's got his second torn ACL, but he's toughing it out. He's a tough guy.
Okay.
So he's racing with a torn ACL right now.
That's tough, man. Take Matt Kenseth.
Matt's kind of like that guy that never talks, never says anything, but he's the guy that's gonna react as not violent. I shouldn't say violent. He's
bumped into a few cars, right?
He's aggressive.
He's aggressive, but you're never gonna know about it. He's sneaky.
Crazy motherfucking
There
Ice
you go.
Cube.
Sneaky. Yeah.
That's Matt.
He's sneaky.
You know, you took it upon yourself to defend Tony Stewart recently with the way the media was handling him and his character. What made you speak out? I know he's your best friend, but how bad were they treating him? Would you say?
Well, you know, I hate when you see people especially people who don't cover our sport on a weekly basis, and they develop an opinion of somebody who they don't even really know anything about. They just go off of things that they might or might not have worked together or just read on a teleprompter. So, you know, I feel like, you know, Tony he's always been the person, especially for myself and my family. He's always been the person who cares more about what you do than he does himself, and he's the guy who's going to give, a couple $1 million to the Victory Junction Gang camp or somebody in between who's going to not say anything about it. But that's just the kind of guy he is, and I just, you know, I know the race fans, a lot of them know that, but you know, in the general public, you know, the things that were being said were so far out of bounds that you just feel like, you know, you should at least get something out there and help your friend get through something that he's having a hard time dealing with.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think a lot of national attention came to the sport too. Well, it's the biggest sport we have.
I didn't realize that.
But when Ward died of that the accident that took place and a driver died, and from there you start seeing headlines that just focused on that didn't tell the whole story of the sport.
Yeah, and you know, for me, I came into a sport when I was in 2001. I replaced Dale Earnhardt when he died.
Okay.
Yeah, I drove his car the next week. So you have a lot of these scenarios, or luckily we don't have a lot of them.
Yeah.
We have some of these scenarios, and much like when Dale died. I mean, those were new eyeballs of people that had probably never even watched a NASCAR race, but they knew who Dale Earnhardt was.
Yeah.
And in Tony's situation, same thing. You have a lot of people who are interested in a situation that they don't know anything about, but he had an accident that unfortunately killed somebody, and you have a lot of things that are talked about that from people that don't know a lot about it.
They don't know a lot about it. Well, I'm glad you're here clearing it up, because we was trying to figure out who probably gets the most fanfare out of Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Jimmy Johnson. Who would you say?
It's not even close. Dale Jr.
Junior?
Oh, Junior
is like Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
What?
Sometimes I feel sorry for Dale, just for the fact that I mean, he can't go do anything. He can't go anywhere. I mean, he is by far the biggest name in our sport, and it's crazy when you just. I feel sorry for him when I have to go places with him, especially at the racetrack, because he can't move, walk, talk, can't do anything.
Can't do nothing. I was there with him. I was walking right next to him.
Crazy, right?
Just catching crumbs.
Yeah.
Dale didn't even know I was there. I was just catching crumbs. So I'll take that.
Some of them helmet lickers.
Helmet lickers. All right, we got to go to the phone lines. I know you got to go, but I want to get a few people out. We got Pell from D.C. Pell, what's up, man?
What up, Pell?
Pell, you there? Pell. Pell, you failed. All right, John from Florida.
Oh, man.
John, good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Sway?
Say hello to Kevin Harvick, man. Good morning.
Kev, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Pretty good, man. First time caller here, Sway, man. So I'm gonna make myself a hyena right now, man. That's right. But Kev, man, I got to tell you, man, I was at your first race in Atlanta when you pulled out the victory, taking over the 29 car, man, and got to say, man, I've been chronicling you throughout your whole career, man. You've been doing a great job, man. And Sway, a little info about this guy, man. You're sitting with a legend right now, man. This guy's one of the few guys that has won the Sprint Cup Championship. He's won the Daytona 500. He's won the Brickyard 400, and he's won the Southern 500, which are all crown jewels in the Sprint Cup Series, man. So he's a living legend right now. And not to sell Kevin short, man. This guy's hey, he will fucking get in somebody's ass. Don't get
yeah, so I was trying to say that lightly, but he would definitely step. He's like the Serena Williams of NASCAR, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I appreciate all that, and I definitely, I care about what I do. We'll just leave it at that, right?
He'll bust your ass, man. Bust that ass from the West Coast. Throw him up.
Yay.
All right, let's go to Charlotte real quick. Michael, say what up to Kev.
Hey, what's going on, Kevin?
What would you like to say to him real quick?
Hey, I know you guys briefly touched on it real quick, but what was the pressure like when you took over that car for Dale, like your first week into NASCAR?
Yeah, so I was 25 years old and really didn't have a clue. So for me, the shocker was when I walked into that press conference in Rockingham, North Carolina that day, to see all the media and people that were under that tent that day was pretty eye opening. But it was a time period in my career that. Was a little bit a lot confused just for the fact that you didn't really know the magnitude of the situation, but it was definitely an adjustment in our life just because of on that particular day everything changed when you got in that car and drove it. So taught us a lot, obviously from an unfortunate situation, and hopefully it's something that we never have to deal with again. But it was definitely overwhelming to say the least.
Michael, thank you for your call. Kevin Harvick, thank you for coming by. Don't forget to watch him this Sunday, October 4th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series AAA 400 at Dover International Speedway on NBC Sports Network. Or you can listen, because we broadcast live right here on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. And, man, I really want to learn more about NASCAR. I know NASCAR is constantly reaching out to diversify not only its field but also its audience. And
well, you can come anytime. We'll show you around.
Okay, you just heard that.
Yeah.
Okay,
you let us know when you're coming, and we'll make sure that you come to the right place.
Bring some helmet lickers for me.
Well, I mean that's totally up to you.
All right,
we can steer you in the right direction.
Okay. Kevin Harvick, good luck this Sunday, man, and thank you for coming by.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
enjoyed
man,
it. Thank you.
Great. All right, we got our resident medium and psychic, Linda Lauren, up next. The Scarface, God.
on Shea 45.